So Jake Paul just fought Anthony Joshua, and it was probably the funniest fight I've ever seen in my whole entire life. It was just a pure clown show. And I can say that Jake Paul came a long way from that Disney Channel flow and having diss tracks with Rice Gum. He is now cemented himself as one of the greatest white boys of all time. For a minute, I was about to bet $100 that Jake Paul would survive the 8 rounds, that the fight would go to the distance. I was thinking that for a minute. Now, I know you're saying, why were you thinking that Jake Paul would even survive the rounds, Carlitos? That's insane. And I thought that would happen because the ring was a 22 by 22 foot ring, making it a bigger ring. I thought he could run for a couple of minutes, I thought he could run for like half an hour. But then I started thinking to myself, I was like, wait, Anthony Joshua, an Olympic medalist boxer, he has been humiliated in the past. I don't think he want to get humiliated again. He has to knock him out. So I decided to not go for that bet. I decided to not bet at all and just watch this clown show instead. And I decided to watch it with my dad, and I don't regret it. It was just, my dad was just so funny. It was just joke after joke. I couldn't stop laughing at the fight and at the jokes my dad was making about these two guys. It was just David versus Goliath, actually. So they make their entrance, right? Anthony Joshua comes out stoic, locked in. And Jake Paul comes out with 6ix9ine with that, I believe it's Gummo, the song. And they were just lit. So the fight starts, and round one, Anthony Joshua starts putting a little bit of pressure. Jake Paul starts circling the ring. He's just circling the ring, gives a couple punches, lands more punches than Anthony Joshua in that first round. So that round actually goes to Jake Paul, which was surprising. But then I believe in that same round, or maybe the second round, but I believe it was that first round, Jake Paul kind of hugs him, and he like trips or falls over because he can't hold on to Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua is too big, and he just like falls. And my dad's like, damn, he knocked him out already without even punching him. It was funny. So a couple of rounds go by, right? And Anthony Joshua is just throwing haymakers, but he's not landing nothing relevant yet. He's just throwing haymakers. And Jake Paul is incredibly lucky, and he has good reflexes, to be honest, because he was dodging some pretty heavy punches at some times. But like my dad said, he can't be running backwards for 30 minutes, especially getting hit here and there. He's gonna get tired at one point. Something funny too that my dad kind of called out was, I believe, around round 3 or round 4. They hugged each other. They were like in a clinch, and my dad's like, look at that size difference. It'll be insane if Jake Paul claims that he gets hit in the nuts, right? And I believe the next round they like fall over. Anthony Joshua falls on top of Jake Paul, and Jake Paul gets up grabbing his nuts, and we're like cracking up. I'm like, I can't believe you called that out. And this fight was horrible. Like, actually, it was pretty bad. Well, Anthony Joshua's performance was good. Jake Paul's was terrible. He was on his knees most of the fight. It was like he signed up for the wrong job. He should have signed up for another thing where he could use his knees more. Not only that, but he was just gassed out. He was tired. He was just like laying on the floor, begging for like air. There was this like one round. I don't remember the round, but it's like the round just started and they get in this clinching position, and Jake Paul is looking at the clock, and we're like, bro, the round just started. What are you looking at the time for? You got a whole 2 minutes to go for. But eventually, Anthony Joshua just catches up to Jake Paul. And I believe in round 5, Jake Paul gets an uppercut, and that's where everything changed. Once he got that uppercut, he started wobbling, and Jake Paul lost control of himself. And in the next round, in the round 6, Anthony Joshua comes in for the kill and just TKOs him. Gets the technical decision after Jake Paul gets 3 knockdowns and is in, he just can't fight back. He couldn't even stand up in that last knockdown, but he did stand up after. He was just 1 second late, honestly. He was 1 second late to making it. And I give him props to that. Going in, fighting a bigger man, like a way bigger man, and just standing up, not getting knocked out, because people wanted to see him, getting put in a stretcher, like him laying on the floor or something like that. But nah, this guy got some balls, bro. I'm gonna keep it real with you. And after this fight, I will say Jake Paul is in that list of the top white boys of all time. He's one of those white boys that doesn't care. He just does those crazy stunts. He reminds me a lot of Shane McMahon, a white boy who's rich and shouldn't be doing this type of stuff. Like, he has no reason to do that. Doesn't gain nothing but the respect from us.